I talked to the team, and I told them, and they did a couple of things that I asked them, and that was to play to the last whistle. I take all the blame for not preparing us defensively and offensively for this game, and it's not on them. It's on me, and so I want to make sure that everybody understands that, and we'll get it fixed. But our kids played to the last whistle, and the fans showed up tonight, and we didn't take care of it in the first half. We did get back in the game at the end, but I wanted to thank them too in trying to be there for us, and we hopefully that outcome was a little different, but our kids played their heart out.
Shaun, when you say it's on you, not on them, and not being prepared, the 400 yards on the ground, that's the story of the game. So
Absolutely.
What do you think were the main factors there?
You know, first of all, the number one on that team is tough. You know, whenever he gets going, he's probably one of the best athletes out there. We didn't run fits. We didn't wrap up like we should. It's absolutely inexcusable. You can't win games letting a team run for 400 yards on you. That's just unacceptable. And so we need to go back, and I'll get back into my office and turn on the film and watch that before I go home, and try to figure out what needs to be done before next week.
So share with me maybe like what percentage of that you think is personnel challenges, and what percentage is things that you guys are doing strategically or anything else?
Yeah, personnel. We're a little light-handed tonight, to tell you the truth, and I'll never make an excuse for that because we have guys that are on scholarship that they'll step up, but we didn't have a couple of guys ready to go, and so, but that's never an excuse. And the thing is, we need to play better in that interior. They're a pretty good line. You know, they got on us, and we didn't separate. We didn't strike and separate. We didn't wrap up when we had the time, but it's tough when somebody runs on you for 400 yards and you're trying to play catch-up the whole time. And it was my fault that we had to play catch-up because I didn't think I did a good job for 3 series in the second quarter to stay with them. And then we played catch-up the whole time, and I'm glad I'm happy how the kids played, but that was my fault that we didn't take care of those 3 series.
Hey, Coach, Jack Loader, Devil's Digest. The guys on the defensive front all week, you know, they say all the right things when we're talking about preparing for the run and being gap savvy, and it seems like continuously they fail to deliver the goods on game day. Do you see a sort of like complacency from that group or something technically going wrong during the week that you can address?
You know, like again, we were a little short. They're playing their butts off. You know, I thought UCLA did a great job blocking us, and we didn't run fit. A couple of times, and we had quarterback in the quarter, and we went on our read to the running back, and the quarterback slipped out the back end, and so we need to make sure that we are better in the run fit category, and we haven't been in the last couple of games. I think they averaged 10 yards a carry, and that's unacceptable.
And then, Coach, when you look at I know you said like the 400 yards, but getting off the field on third down, because I mean, defensively, it seemed like through the first half and even through half the third quarter, good about forcing second and long, third and longs, but just giving up that play.
Yeah.
What were some of the maybe breakdowns you were seeing on those third and longs?
We've been having trouble all season with that, you know, and we get them in 3rd and 12, and you know they're running stop routes at 14 yards, and we're in the area but not attached to somebody, and that's a problem. We need to go back and get with I need to go back and get with the defensive coaches and see what we need to do about that. But because they're working hard on 1st and 2nd, and 3rd down we're not getting it done. And a lot of times those stops that we could have got puts us in the lead. And I'm disappointed in how we played in the second quarter, and I'm disappointed how we play on offense, and I'm disappointed how our defense have played trying to stop the run.
And did you feel the defense maybe adjusted better to the tempo in the second half? Because it seems like in the first half when they started going tempo, and the coaches, you guys touched on it earlier in the week, but in the second half, it seems like when they started going tempo, there was actually some plays made, actually stringing some runs out where they're better adjustments, I guess, in the second half.
Yeah, I thought they brought a little bit more pressure. And so the linebackers filled the gaps a little bit better. When they go into tempo and, those defensive linemen have to stay on the field and go one after another, and it's tough and because we're thin there, but that's still no excuse.
Coach, Corey had a couple personal fouls past 2 weeks, and then he had an unsportsmanlike conduct today, late, crucial one. Just as a coach, what do you tell him to kind of just get out of that funk?
He comes up and makes a great play and then gets excited and stands over somebody. And I tell those guys, we're going to play with passion, not emotion. When emotion gets involved, then you make mistakes, and then it costs you your team. We were 2nd down and 6, and we got a 15-yard penalty, and they moved the ball. And he feels bad because I had that conversation with him. But at the time, we have to learn that the emotional part, we got to take out the emotional part out of it.
And then obviously 3 and 6, got to win out. Just how confident are you that you guys can do that?
We're going to play as hard as we can. And one thing you know about this football team, we're gonna play until we can't play no more. It doesn't matter if we have 20 guys on the field or on our team or 50 guys, but we're gonna play hard. And so these next 3 games, we're gonna play hard. We know when we understand we have to win out to get to a bowl game, and these teams that we're gonna face, Washington State had a good game against Stanford, and then we got to face. Then we got to face Oregon State, and then U of A at their place. And so we're going to be ready. We're going to be ready. When I say ready, I'm going to make sure that the coaches are preparing the kids to be successful. I didn't think we did a good job tonight.
Hey, Coach. Jake Seymour, Cronkite Sports. Trenton seemed like he was under a lot of pressure tonight, took a couple big hits. What did you see from UCLA splits packages?
They're bringing 6 or 7, especially when we were 2nd and long, and we kind of knew that when we were 2nd and long, and that's why we didn't want to be in 2nd and long. That's when their pressure packages come up, and then they bring their NASCAR, and I thought our O-line did a pretty good job. Of course, the thing with Trendon is that's the way to stop him. You're going to have to bring that pressure, and he does a good job hitting in the hot routes. But I put him in the situation to get hit because I didn't take care of the efficiency on 1st down. And so I made that mistake as a play caller.
Coach, I noticed Omar left the game late in the first half. He seemed pretty frustrated. I don't know if that was your call or if you saw what happened there, but if you could just clue us in as to what was going on.
He was out all week this week because of an illness, and he wants to go, and he got frustrated because he just can't. And again, we're thin with a lot of guys in that situation, but he was just frustrated with himself that he can't help the team in that situation because he's not feeling well. He made the decision that he was going to go today, but he couldn't be productive because he just couldn't be on the field.
How many guys were dealing with that? I heard it was a little bit of a bug.
A few, maybe more than a few.
Shaun, I'm curious about the 2-point tries that you guys are going for.
Absolutely.
Especially, I'm sure there's something that you saw and that made you feel confident in it, but especially the last one that you went for with the thought process. What was the thought process on that?
And so when you read the analytics books, there's recommended, if you're going to be aggressive and you score and get the 2 points, then a touchdown wins the game. And I don't want to be in a situation where I kick and we're 7-7 and then have to go for the 2. I want to make sure that if I don't get it, I'm down by 8. I'm going to have to go for the 2 anyway. And so I want to make sure that from an aggressive standpoint, and I tell our kids that we're always going to be aggressive to go for the win. That was me going for the win. And then so now we're down 6, and so we score, we win the football game. So that was my train of thought. And I'm always going to be aggressive, Chris, in regards to those situations. Yeah. Absolutely. That is the most important part. So when we met right after this, I got them all together and made sure that we put our hand around each other. That's the part about the families. And when it's hard times, how can we back each other up and not point fingers at each other? And I told them that I love them and we're going to take care of it. And I told them I take the blame. And so I told them when they come into the media, you let them know that it was my fault, and I'll take the blame. But those guys understand when it's hard times, then we got to stay together even more. And so that's a huge emphasis. Now, when we win, we're going to celebrate the wins. But you're right, it's hard. And so we're going to come back Sunday and do the same thing. We're going to have our dinner, our family dinner on Sunday. And that's a tough one because we lost, but that's where more and more family makes it even better.